we begin tonight with Senator Lindsey Graham, chair of the Judiciary Committee. Senator, good to see you tonight, and lots to talk about. So let's dive right in. First of all, you know, you see Lynn Wood there going after Brian Kemp, the governor, Republican governor of Georgia, and, you know, telling people basically that voting is rigged and discouraging them at this point, just a few weeks out from this really important Senate election.
Number one, Republicans need to show up and vote for Senator Perdue and Loeffler. If we don't get 52 Republicans in the Senate, the Democrats are going to change our country to the point you won't recognize it. So help where you can. If you want to give money to Georgia, go on the internet and look up their websites, or give money to lindseygraham.com, and I will send it all down to Georgia. So the radical agenda that they're proposing for our country can only be stopped if we get Georgia right. We got to win in Georgia.
But how do you get it right when you've got, you know, when you've got people going after the governor and saying that the system is undermined? It's going to be real hard.
Yeah. Number one, mail-in voting, the way they're doing it throughout the country, will be the end of the Republican Party. All you need in Georgia is for one person to verify a signature. Every signature on mail-in ballots should be verified in a bipartisan way. So I'm begging the governor to call the legislature back in session and do two things. Make sure that when it comes to verifying signatures on mail-in ballots, that it's done bipartisan, not a single individual in a county office that may have an agenda that's partisan. That's a simple fix. If you do that, you're probably going to save Loeffler and Perdue from a lot of fraud. As to what happened to Trump, keep fighting, Mr. President. Make your case in court, and just fight as hard as you can to improve this system. My beef is not with Governor Kemp. He seems like a decent fellow, but what he's not doing, in my view, is proactively fixing a system. We know that the mail-in voting system in Georgia needs to be reformed, and we got days to fix it, not months.
Right, but it's not like, you know, the Republicans didn't know this was coming. You know, that's part of the big problem here. I mean, you got days to fix it. It's like, why, you know, so a lot of people are looking for a coordinated effort. And, you know, I spoke with Brad Parscale yesterday. He said, you know, that he felt that some mistakes were made in terms of the readiness to have lawyers in all of these venues and making sure that you had all the representation. Listen to what he says about what he thinks Loeffler and Perdue should do. Listen to this.
All those Republicans right now in Georgia that are angry at the Republican Party and they want to, and they're mad and they don't want to vote, I would do the opposite. I would stand up and I would say, why don't you two senators make a promise right now that you'll push for a Senate investigation from the Judiciary Committee of all the voting issues.
So should the senators, should they ask for that, A? And B, should they be more forceful about this whole situation?
We need to get off our ass and change the law in Georgia before the January 5th runoff. It's a Republican-controlled state house, state senate with a Republican governor. What I'm begging Georgia to do, I'm the Senate Judiciary Chairman, I'm not a federal judge, to the Trump legal team. You're making all these claims, you got to prove it. Doing a video is not proof. You need to take these claims into a court of law and get relief. As to the legislative body in Georgia, you need to change your law. I can't change Georgia law, so we need to change the law so that the Senate races are not stolen from us. The best way to make sure that Trump legacy stays in place is to win Georgia. If you want to protect his family from another round of Mueller investigations, we need to win Georgia. If you want to make sure that crazy people like the one nominated for the OMB director never gets a job, make sure we win in Georgia. A lot's at stake. LindseyGraham.com.
So what are they going to change? What is Georgia going to? I know you've donated, I think, $1 million from your Senate campaign to the Georgia effort. $3 million, okay, to the Georgia effort. But you say we got to change these laws in the next few days. What specifically needs to be changed?
In Georgia, a mail-in ballot signature verification is done by a single individual in a county office. If they have a problem with the signature, they'll call somebody above them, and if there's a dispute, they'll go to a third person. But in Fulton County, where Biden got 80% of the vote, I think they had 11 signatures rejected. And the database they're using, this consent decree entered into by the Secretary of State with Stacey Abrams to end her lawsuit in Georgia, has really put us behind the 8 ball. Change the consent decree so that you're verifying signatures before the ballot application was actually made, and make sure that every signature signature is validated by a bipartisan group. We have a bipartisan group counting ballots. We have bipartisan groups checking you in when you vote in person. In Georgia, a single person has the final say. They can wave it all through.
I mean, it's
now,
kind of mind-boggling.
say there's a problem.
I mean, why
it's
would
mind-boggling.
No, I'm saying, why is it just weeks away from this election, and now there's you're saying push through some legislation. Where's everybody been on this? Because it's a Republican legislature, a Republican governor, Republican Secretary of State.
Yeah. Damn if I know, but Trump has been saying to anybody that will listen, they use COVID as a way to expand mail-in voting. Voting by mail tripled in Georgia. They got all these drop boxes by Walmarts where people drop in mail-in ballots.
Yep.
I'm telling you right now, if you audited the envelopes with signatures on them, that you will find, if you had a bipartisan group or a machine doing it, a higher rejection rate than actually occurred in the election. But we got a new election coming. Now, we got nobody to blame but ourselves if we sit on our ass and continue to allow this system to exist. So I like the governor. He's a fine fellow, but he needs to change the law before it's too late so we don't get cheated out of these 2 Senate seats, period.
Lindsey Graham, good to have you here tonight, Senator, and we'll see where it goes. Apparently, David Perdue is in favor of the Senate Judiciary Committee looking into this, but you're saying that's not how it's going to work.
Yeah. No, hell, I'm not a federal judge. I can't give relief. I can't change Georgia law. By the time the Senate acts up here, the election will be over. The state house in Georgia can change state election law in Georgia. Yeah. I can't. Federal judges can give relief. I can't. Yeah. Go to court with a case that makes sense. Change the law while you can to require bipartisan signature verification. I'm not trying to tip it to Republicans. I'm trying to prevent Republicans from being cheated by a system that's ripe for fraud.
Yeah, it's amazing. I mean, you need to have a fair election, and having people on both sides witness the process is, should be baked in the cake. And the fact that it's not, I think, is just shocking to people across the country. Senator Graham, always good to see you, sir. Thank you for being here tonight.